Hello?
Hello, is this Dez?
Who's this?
This is Dustin Wellness from KMSU Radio in Minnesota.
Yeah, okay.
Is this a good time to ask you some questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I'll introduce you to my co-host, Ton.
Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I am great. Glad to have you on the line. If you're ready to go, we'll get started.
Sure, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, I guess the first thing we'll ask you is if you can talk to us a bit about how you got started in the music business, like what drew you to it.
Well, it's a lot different than it is now, I think. You know, I grew up with my parents' record collection. So nowadays, if you want to listen to your parents' music, you got to grab their iPod or whatever, you know what I mean? So it was just laying around the house for me. So that's what got me into music, is listening to all their stuff. I mean, they had everything from The Doors to Steppenwolf, you know what I mean? And so I just got into music through them.
So were you in a lot of bands early on, you know, before you formed Coal Chamber, or what were those early days like?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, I grew up on listening to every kind of music possible, so I was in early psychobilly punk bands, some metal bands, but yeah, I was in and around music, you know, from the time I was probably 14, 15 on, going to rehearsals and et cetera.
So then was it typical just playing around? Is that how Coal Chamber kind of formed, or is there a story behind that?
Well, I mean, that's a really long story, man. I don't know how long we've got. I mean, I left home when I was extremely young and ran away from home, basically, from a horrible situation, moved to L.A., couch surfed, slept under bridges, etc., until I found a bunch of people that played music that I wanted to get together with, and from there, Coal Chamber was born, and it was probably the early 90s, I'd say about 1990, when we formed, and Los Angeles was pretty dead at that point. The hair band thing had killed it, and you know, we started playing out and packing out clubs and at the Roxy and the Whiskey, etc. And from there, Roadrunner Records caught our eye through Dino Cazares at Fear Factory, and we got a record deal, got our first deal.
Yeah, I know the first time I saw Coal Chamber was Ozfest 97. You know, you guys opened the second stage, and I mean, obviously that must have been huge to go from, you know, as you said, kind of couch hopping to playing on a bill that size.
I mean, it was massive. I mean, we had quite a following in Los Angeles already, and to have something like that go down was amazing, and that's the day that I met Sharon and Ozzy as well, and soon after that was managed by Sharon Osbourne, you know, weeks later.
So with having Sharon Osbourne as your manager, did that kind of give you like a sigh of relief, like we have it in, or did it actually add pressure for you guys having that kind of person?
Well, I mean, we actually we had another manager prior to her, and I think it was just apparent to me that guy couldn't get us where we wanted to go, and so moving on to her was a good thing. I mean, we did Ozfest more than anybody besides Ozzy. Whenever that thing came around, and she was a great leader in the point of telling me about business, man, really knocking business into my head, you know, and making me aware of the business side of things, not just the artistic side.
Sure. Well, and you guys had that huge hit with Ozzy when you did Shock the Monkeys, so I mean, yeah, that must have been awesome to have that kind of direct line to somebody who's already established like that.
Well, I mean, before that, we had garnished a gold record with our first record, so you know, we just needed something to follow it up, and of course, doing a song with Ozzy was not only a blessing but a good time. I mean, something I look back on and will remember for my life, you know. And he was a huge Peter Gabriel fan, so when I brought it to his attention, he was like, "Yeah, this is great. Let's do this."
So then you eventually went on to form DevilDriver. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, pretty much at the height of Coal Chamber's career, we broke up due to those guys getting on hard drugs and just every cliche in the business, from women to money to drugs, tearing it apart. And I didn't want to be a part of it anymore, and I wanted to do something a little more aggressive. And not that Coal Chamber wasn't aggressive, especially in the early days. I mean, so I moved to Santa Barbara with my wife, and started to meet a bunch of guys that came to my house, and we were barbecuing and hanging out. Next thing you know, we were jamming, and slowly started recruiting guys. Once I had about 5-6 songs in the pocket, I had Monty Connor from Roadrunner Records at that point fly out to California. He watched a few songs, and we got a record deal. And from there, went out on our first tour with Superjoint Ritual. And me and Phil Anselmo have been friends for years and years due to our touring with Pantera over the years, and so when Superjoint went out, they took DevilDriver out for our first tour.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing you guys on that tour as well. It seems like from that day on to now, you guys have been constantly, releasing albums steadily on the road. Is that just a, sign of your work ethic, or do you have like a philosophy behind that, keeping busy?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think you should wait more than 3 or 4 years for a band to give you a record. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to dumb it down, but that's pretty retarded. We're musicians and we write, and we're very prolific and very proficient in what we do, and we like to write. It's not like we have to go away for 2 years to decompress to write a record. I mean, we're writing on the road now, and I think releasing in a timely manner every 2 to 2.5 years is a very important thing. You can put it in the time span of a kid. A kid goes into high school, he's a freshman in high school, gets a record that he likes, and then he's not going to see another record until his senior year from you. It's kind of ridiculous. So we do tend to put out records every 2.5 years.
Well, and on that same token, as far as that style of music and your vocal style especially, is there any, like wear and tear over the years, or any trouble as far as that goes?
Well, I mean, I got to watch sleep. I got to watch how much sleep I get. Otherwise, knock on wood, the voice is hung in. And, I mean, we work a lot. We tour harder than any band on the planet. We do more shows per year than any band on this planet, especially in our world, metal, punk, down the line. So I believe that you need to be out there, need to be working. We're meeting new fans every single day, even on the tour that we're on now. So people that have never heard of us before, never seen us live. So there's always somebody to talk to or to encounter that's never seen the band.
Yeah, and you guys have got a show coming up, Mill City Nights in Minneapolis. What can we expect?
Well, we're giving it 110%, so come on out and do the same. I mean, this bill is really killer. All these bands are really great. They all have something to bring to the table that's different. And then DevilDriver is, closing the bill. And we're playing a bunch of new stuff off of Winter Kills, our new record, that's performing quite well around the world. And we want to thank everybody for that. But, coming out to the show is just, this is a really good bill. So people should come out early and get ready to stay late.
And we also know you're back with Coal Chamber now, too. I mean, you're obviously juggling both bands at the same time. Is that difficult for you, or how's that working?
Well, we got together. We did some shows. We took it around the world. It did really well all over the place. And for now, we're just having conversations about what's next. DevilDriver is going to finish off this tour and take our first summer off that we've had in probably 10 years, 2 months off in the summertime. The guys are going to get down to writing as well as I am. And as far as what Coal Chamber is doing, we're just trying to figure out what's the next step. Do we go out on another tour? Do we put music out? Where are we? And there's been a lot of conversation about a lot of different things. For now, my focus is predominantly on DevilDriver and on this new record, Winter Kills, and really supporting it around the world. It's only a little over a year old. It's far surpassed anything we've done in the past, and it's just it's doing really well. So that being said, you got to keep your focus. You got to maintain your focus, and my focus is definitely DevilDriver at this point.
Definitely. So then after the tour, you said maybe another Coal Chamber project. Is there like a reason you decided to come back? Is it just like a time heals all wounds sort of thing, or you just want to stay busy?
Well, time does heal all wounds. I wanted to visit the music that made me who I was, and knowing that those guys are off of hard drugs now, they're much more fun to be around. So that being said, I mean, well, like I said before, we don't know what's going to come with the future right now. We're talking about different things, and for now, my focus is on DevilDriver.
Well, again, you guys have a show coming up, Mill City Nights in Minneapolis. Definitely looking forward to that. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with? Any final thoughts?
Well, man, just come out to the show and have a good time. The shows have been doing really well, man. I mean, basically almost selling out every night. There's a lot of killer bands, so, just come on out, enjoy yourself, and hopefully we get to give you a handshake and say hello. Beautiful. All right, man. Well, again, thanks a lot for being on with us today. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support on the show. All right, looking forward to it. Thanks a lot. All right, man. Bye-bye.